Sometimes Pop-Ups. I'm Pam, and you're watching Product Plus. Okay, this is not a recall, but this is a nationwide public health alert. Now, I've got my notes here. You'll see me looking down and reading from my notes. That's so that I can make sure you get the right information, okay? So this is a nationwide public health alert for ground beef, okay? The USDA has issued a public health alert for ground beef due to the potential of E. coli contamination. All right, that means that the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, has issued a public health warning for organic ground beef. Now, the thumbnail actually had the label of the type of ground beef that it is. And this is a health warning, all right, because it has been distributed nationwide to Whole Foods markets, all right? Now, this is different from a recall, so I don't want you to be confused. This is not a recall, but it is a nationwide health alert. The ground beef was not recalled because it had already been pulled from the shelf, okay? And the problem with that is that although it was pulled from the shelves, it's a protein. How many of us buy ground beef in anticipation of cooking it soon, cooking it tomorrow, cooking it next week? And so what do? We freeze it, okay? Now, that's why they issued the public health alert because they want consumers to check their freezers, to check to see if you have it. The problem was actually discovered when the producer of the ground beef notified FSIS, which stands for Food Safety and Inspection Services. Okay? Um, they had actually already shipped the ground beef that tested positive for E. coli 015H7. Now, why are those numbers important? All right. That's because the E. coli 0157, then a colon, then H7. So it's E. coli 0157H7. That is a particular strand of E. coli that causes severe intestinal infection in humans. And it's the most common strand to cause illness in people in general. All right? So, very serious form of E. coli. And it had already tested positive, and they realized we shipped this out the door. So they did at least come forward quicker than a hurry. And that's why they were able to pull it from the shelves so quickly. Now, you need to be able to identify it because if you have it in your freezer, or if you know someone else that has it in their freezer, please be sure to share this with anyone that you know that buys ground beef on the regular or that may have some in their freezer. They do not want to consume this ground beef, all right? So the contaminated ground beef was sold in 1 pound vacuum sealed packages, okay? This is just the 1 pound, which 1 pound is in the vacuum sealed packages, which to me is the most popular packaged type of ground beef that most people buy. So on the label, it will say organic rancher, organic ground beef, okay? 85% lean, 15% fat, all right? I'm going to say that again. Organic rancher, organic ground beef. That's hot like one sentence, okay? I'm saying it slow like that because I want you all to be able to get it so that you can look to see if your ground beef says that, all right? There's a few more identifying marks on this ground beef as well, but it should say organic rancher, organic ground beef, 85% lean, 15% fat. These packages also have the USDA organic seal and an animal welfare certification seal on them. So, along with looking for the name Organic Rancher, Organic Ground Beef, 85% lean, 15% fat, look for that USDA organic seal that we look for when we're trying to buy organic. Make sure it has that on it and the animal welfare certification, all right? Now, these packages were produced on May 22nd and May 23rd of this year, 2025. And they also have a use by, so you may not even have it frozen yet because the use by and freeze by date are still in the future. So you may not have even froze it. So check your, that means now you need to check your freezer and your refrigerator, okay? Somebody could have just bought it and put it in the refrigerator. Although it was produced in May, because it says use or freeze by, that's almost really a month out because the freeze by or use by dates are June 19th and June 20th of 2025, all right? So therefore, make sure you check your freezer and your refrigerator. So there is also an establishment number on there. The establishment number is EST 4027. You can find that establishment number inside of the USD mark of inspection. Okay? So that USDA mark of inspection that's on there, that's where you will find the establishment number so that you'll know. It's kind of like the lot number so that you'll know you have the right product. Now, again, that number is EST. E like elephant, S like Sam, T like tiger. Okay? EST 4027. Be sure to look for that number, all right? So that's about it. Like I said, it's not a recall, but it is a nationwide public health alert. This does not go to any states. They were distributed to Whole Foods markets. Now, so far, that's the only place that they're saying they're distributed by. So, well, if you don't shop at Whole Food markets, you're probably okay. But I went to check the ground beef in my freezer anyway, all right? I'm just that person. It's like, okay, you said Whole Foods, but whatever, wherever it was distributed, I don't know how I could have gotten my hands on some, but just in case, I did check the ground because I do have some organic 85 lean 15% fat ground beef in my freezer. And it's in the vacuum seal 1 pound package, okay? So yes, I did check mine. So be sure to check yours. That's it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can always get these updates. And if anything is ever updated on any of the previous recall, health alert, or any other information like that that I give, I will always come back and update you on that as well. I'm Pam. This is Pam's Pop-Ups, and you've been watching Product Plus. Thank you for watching.